Hello, everyone. It is Pat and Robin with our Oracle card reading and message for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2013. Happy middle of the weekday. Happy hump day.
Happy day before the 4th of July when everybody's got it off. And so some of you actually might have the day off. So I hope you're getting ready with your barbecue and you're not, burning up too much. It's still humid. My hair looks better. It's a little cooler. So all is well. I'm not as cranky. So let's get moving.
For today's reading, I'm going to be calling on the Goddess Guidance Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue and the Mother Mary Oracle card deck. So I felt the need for the feminine energy today. And maybe it's just because there's so much going on in the world that perhaps we're all in need of a little nurturing. You know, the West has been devastated by fires. A lot of places have been devastated by floods. You know, there's the uprising going on in Egypt right now. So perhaps we could use a little TLC and Mother Nurturing energy. Okay? So let's see what the goddesses, or which goddess is working with us today and what their message is for us, for the YouTube community. Okay, I'm holding the deck upside down. What do they wish us to know? Who's working with us today? Ooh. Okay. One flipped out. So I was shuffling. And this is Ostara. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
With Fertility. And it says, this is the perfect time for you to start new projects. I'm reading this without my glasses. Access new ideas and give birth to new conditions. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in Egypt, is give birth to new conditions. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, generally speaking, we're still in Mercury retrograde. It's usually a time for, finishing things, maybe getting back to things that you started but, didn't finish, reviewing things. So, but... I know. What's your hit on this card as you look at it?
Well, I'm looking at the moon, and Ostara is actually the spring equinox in pagan ritual. Mm-hmm. So it's all about planting the seeds and starting the new cycle of birth. So it's a time where the reason why it's a fertility card is that this is the time when animals tend to start mating so that they can reproduce. Because the weather has gotten a little bit better, and that the children or the offspring of this mating will be born either in the summer or the late summer. So this is when people do it, and that's why I also learned that's why there's a lot of May-June weddings, because marriages want to happen during the springtime, so that by the following year, close to the following spring, the offspring will be born, so they'll be born in a fortuitous time with the season, so it'll be warm and it'll be easy to take care of the child. So this is all about beginnings, all about starting new projects. Also, I'm looking at the moon. The moon's very important, although it's a waxing. Is it waxing or waning? It's waning. It's a waning moon. We're in a waning moon, actually. So that's very interesting. So I think what's happening is that there is the possibility of great change and great new ideas being born, specifically Egypt. Egypt's at an ultimatum. It can go either way. But it's hopeful for many people that change will finally happen. And also in much of Europe, many countries in Europe are demonstrating for change. And even here in the United States, where we don't demonstrate to the extent and to the in the fervor that Europe seems to be doing it right now, we do have Edward Snowden, who was a whistleblower. We have a lot of things coming to light. We have a lot of secrets. Doreen talks about the veils being lifted, the scandals that are coming out. So there's a lot of stuff that is coming to light that is rather... the word that's coming to mind, it's a very strong word, is abhorrent to us. We're not accepting it anymore. And so we are coming to a place where we want something completely new. So I think that's what this card is really addressing, that we're really at that place right now. We're really right at the precipice where we're going to start demanding significant change in our personal lives, but also on a macro level in our society and in the world.
I would agree, and what really speaks to me in the words of this card is as you've alluded to, is the giving birth to new conditions. We're not willing to put up with stuff that doesn't serve the people as a whole anymore and serve the rights of the people. And, with it being Mercury retrograde, you can still use that energy to give birth to new conditions in the sense of you can get reorganized, um, re, um, I want to say reignited in, your passion and the desire for these new things to be brought in. And sometimes we rethink the way we need to do things, or how we need to go about things. So Mercury energy is a good time for that. It's, as Doreen taught me one time, you use that prefix re. It's a good time to anything. Relax, revitalize, but it's also a good time to reorganize and redo things if you need that change in your life. So the giving birth to new conditions is really what speaks loudly. But you can do that in your own personal life, and maybe you're feeling that need too. Just as it's happening on a global level, we're also feeling it within ourselves, that we need to birth new conditions in our life. And maybe that's really strongly coming to your awareness today, that you are desiring new things, new conditions, new ways of being in the world for yourself. So, awesome interpretation, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what Mother Mary is wanting us to know in addition to this.
Also embrace Mercury retrograde. It's not a bad thing. I mean, we can look at things in a positive way or a negative way. And I've always looked at Mercury retrograde kind of as a negative, but it can be a positive. Sometimes redoing something makes it better.
Yeah.
Being forced to drop everything and do it all over again, which is what happened to me during Mercury retrograde several times already. Embrace it, because usually when you do something a second time, it's much better than the first.
I mean, it can be frustrating when you have technical issues that Mercury retrograde affects and you have to resend emails or you have to reschedule things. It can be frustrating when stuff like that happens, but using its more positive aspects, like as Robin said, I mean, you can redecorate, you can reorganize a closet, you can remarry. You can, reorganize your, a plan that you had for doing something. So there's lots of ways that its energy can be used to affect positive change as well. So that's a good point to make. And all right, let's see what Mother. Ooh, okay.
Oh, she's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
She's got.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we have Miracle that's come out here. All right, and I have to take my glasses off to read this. It says, I trust in God to know the perfect solution to this situation. So this is about surrendering a bit. It's really about letting go, not struggling too hard. When you're reorganizing and giving birth to new conditions, sometimes things can feel like they're all over the place. So it's a little bit of surrendering that needs to take place as well, and asking the divine for intervention. Would you agree?
Well, what I'm getting very strongly is that, in times of great strife and struggle, when all hope appears to be lost, that's when miracles occur. And what's coming to mind, just because I have, you guys know I have Nelson Mandela in my mind. I pray for him because he's transitioning. Right before apartheid ended was the most oppressive time of apartheid in South Africa. Right before the Berlin Wall went down was the most oppressive time in Eastern Europe. Right before women got the right to vote in 1919 was the most oppressive time for women, believe it or not. So it seems like when things are at this very incredible crisis point where all hope seems lost, that's when a miracle is able to occur. It's almost like it opens things up because people have given up hope of anything changing, so they become very open. Like, I don't care, I give up, I throw my hands in the air. Well, that's exactly the shift that needs to happen in order for a miracle to come in. So yeah. I feel really strongly that that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And if we can hold on to that and just open our hearts and just say, I surrender it all to God, because actually that's the next card.
Yeah.
I surrender it all to God and Mother Mary and to the divine, that's when we open up the space for miracles.
Yeah, it reminds me of that expression that every cloud has a silver lining. And in this picture, if you look at the golden lining that is surrounding this image.
Mm-hmm.
It's the golden lining that's there, that's waiting to come in. And the other card that came out right along with it, as Rob mentioned, is God. It says, I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. Again, it's like a double message of surrender. If you want the miracles to come in, surrender it. If you've asked for divine intervention, step out of the way and let them help you. Okay, and that comes from surrendering control, as Robin just beautifully demonstrated in that. So those are our messages for today. And this today or tomorrow morning may be our last morning doing these messages together.
You never know.
But if you really like them, we'll endeavor to try it in some way in the future, using the wonders of Skype or something like that.
So YouTube subscribers for both of our channels, Facebook friends, if you would like a weekly tag team reading, we can do it over Skype. I mean, it'll look a little different, but we can do it. Also, if you're interested in having tag team individual readings, we've been talking about that as well. So we don't know what that's going to look like, but if you're interested in something like that happening, do let us know. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you want it to look like, what you want it to encompass. We'll be happy to think about it.
We're like the grandmas, They have those women on YouTube that are the psychic twins?
Yeah, we're the psychic abuelas.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you all so much for all of your lovely comments this week and for watching the videos that we've been putting out together. Robin goes back to her homeland tomorrow.
To the homeland.
To the homeland, back to her kitties, and it's been lovely having her here. So,
to the homeland of my people.
Yes, yes. Where it's hotter than it is here. No humidity, but it's hotter.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. It was 110 outside, 102 inside.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but cats are okay. The air conditioner's on. I have a very kind and loving neighbor who the cats actually deal with very well. But yes.
And we had the pleasure of meeting one of our Facebook, YouTube friends.
Yes.
Yesterday, Miss Kelly. It was so delightful to meet her. She's a lovely wedding planner whose business is called Angelic Affairs.
And she does non-traditional weddings. So any of you non-traditional people
who are very thrilled by the new marriage equality standard that's come in now, in the federal government ruling,
call Kelly.
Call her. So
she's totally into it, and she will find the perfect space and place and ambiance for you.
And she's a sweetheart.
She's great, and she's beautiful.
Yes.
Not that matters, but she's beautiful to boot.
Yes. Angelic Affairs. Find her on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So take care, everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye.
All right.